Welcome back, everybody. In today's video, I thought I'd change things up a little bit, do something a little bizarre. For starters, changed up my background, made things a little different. Let me know how you like it. That's enough babbling, let's get into the video. In today's video, I show you how to install and configure Bazarr. Bazarr is a companion application to Sonar and Radar. It can manage and download subtitles based on your requirements. You define your preferences by TV show or movie, and Bazarr takes care of everything for you. Let's get Bazarr set up. Before we get started, have you signed up to receive our newsletter? It's a monthly publication with Unraid news, written out guides, and more. Come join us. Also, come join us on Discord. It's a growing community where you can post questions and answers to tech questions, along with just hanging out with like-minded people. Join now so you don't miss out. I left links to both down in the description. On to Bazarr. Let's jump into the installation. Over on our Unraid server, we're going to go to the Apps tab. We're going to search for Bazarr, and that's B-A-Z-A-R-R. And today, we're going to go to the Linux servers version. Find it in the list here and go ahead and click install. And it's going to ask which branch we want to do. We're going to do the default branch, so click default. And I'm going to put this one on my custom network, so I'll find network type here, and I'm going to drop down and I'm going to select my custom alien proxy network. So whatever custom network you have, go ahead and select that there. Next, we're going to scroll down and we're going to find show Docker allocations. We're going to open that up. We're going to find our port number here under Web UI, which is currently 6767. Double click on it, hit Control F on the keyboard to find. And it shows two results, which are right here. If you have more than these two, then go ahead and scroll down and you'll find it listed most likely down here. And if that's the case, we're going to need to change that port number. So I like to just increment it by one. So I would change this to 6768, search, make sure that's available. And you just repeat that process until you find one that's clear. 6767 is good for me, so I'm going to continue on. Next option down here, path/movies. We're going to set this to the path where our media files are containing the movies. In this video, I'm setting it up to follow the trash guides folder structure. So if you're following the same, then just follow along. If not, you're going to browse to your own media folder where your movies are and then select that. We'll click into the field here. We'll drop down. We're going to look for data and then media. And then in there, we'll have a movies folder. And right there's the full location that we're looking for, /MNT/user/data/media/movies. Once you have that set, go ahead and click off somewhere to get out of that field. Next, we're going to jump down to path/TV and do the same thing. Click into there. We're going to go back to data, media, scroll down and find TV. Once again, it's going to be /MNT/user/data/media/TV. Go ahead and click out of there. That's everything we need. I'm going to go ahead and hide Docker allocations and then scroll down and I'm going to hit apply, let it install, and then I'm going to hit done. While that's installing, why don't you come join us in Discord? I'll leave a link in the description. That was fairly quick, only took a minute or two. Now that we've got Bazarr installed, let's go set it up. Let's go over to our Docker tab. We're going to find Bazarr in the list here, and I'm going to turn on the auto start. Once the auto start's turned on, I'm going to go back to the icon, click on it, and I'm going to select the web UI. There we go, we're in the interface. Now that we've got Bazarr installed, if you're getting some value from this video, do me a favor and hit that like button, and subscribe while you're down there. All right, on to the setup. I'm going to go up to settings in the top left, and then I'm going to click on general. The thing we're interested in here is the security side of it. There's currently no authentication set up. I always like to set something up in there, so I've got some kind of login protection. So I'm going to click into there and select basic, and I'm going to put in a username. I'm going to go ahead and use demo. Then I'm going to go ahead and put in a super secret password. And the last thing I'm going to do is scroll all the way to the bottom. And this option is totally up to you, whatever your comfort level is here. But the analytics down here is currently enabled, and it's going to send anonymous usage information, nothing that can identify you, but it's still going to send information out to the developers, which is nice for them because they can get more information about how it's being used and that kind of stuff. But not that I have trust issues or anything. I'm going to go ahead and disable that. Like I said, it's up to you. If you want to enable that, go ahead and leave it enabled. I just wanted to call it out to you and let you know that it's there because a lot of times that's usually a pop-up thing that says, do you want to send information to these people or not? It's kind of hidden. It's the very last option. I don't think they're being shady or anything, but just so you know, it's there. All right, scrolling all the way back to the top, I'm going to click on save. That's in the top left. All right, next we're going to drop down to languages. First thing we're going to look for is underneath language filter. We're going to select our language here, so go ahead and click into there. Look through the list here, find the language that you would like. But I'm looking for English. And down below where it says language profiles, that's where we're going to head to next. We want to click on add new profile. The name, I like to just give it a descriptive name so I know what it is. In this case, I'm going to go with English. and then I'm going to do forced because that's really all I'm concerned with is forced subtitles. If you want full subtitles, then I'd probably change this to something like, English/full or something of that nature. Once you have your name input, go ahead and hit add language. Then it's going to go back and pull in the languages that we have selected before. In this case, I just have English. Then the subtitle types, you've got a couple different options here, normal or hearing impaired. This is full closed captioning. It says, like music and little music notes are playing and, and other little things in the background, like, low murmurs and that kind of stuff will be displayed at the bottom of the screen. I'm not interested in that. I just need the forced subtitles, which if you don't know, forced subtitles are when you're watching a movie or TV show and everybody's speaking English. Then you've got the one character that has an occasional line that's in a foreign language or, it could be sign language or something of that nature. At that point, a forced subtitle will put that translation down at the bottom of the screen. So under subtitle type, you can select your normal type, or if you want to do forced, the foreign part only, you select that. Now, a forewarning here, forced subtitles, the availability is kind of hit and miss. They're not always available. So if it's something critical and you need to make sure that, you've got all the words for it, then you're going to want to do the normal type. But since it's not a huge deal, if I can't understand one person for a second or two, I'm okay with that. Next, we're going to go down to cutoff. We're going to select the forced version. Any would be any subtitle. Everything else should be good there on the default, so I'm going to go ahead and hit save now. All right, next we're going to scroll all the way down. And under default language profiles for newly added shows, we're going to turn on series. And then for profile, we're going to select the profile we just made, which is the English/forced. Then scroll down a little bit more. We're going to turn on movies and do the same thing. Profile, select the profile we want. We're going to scroll all the way back to the top and hit save. So if you want to create a new profile for another language or for full subtitles, let me show you how to do that real quick. Once again, you'd be back under your languages tab, language filter. We're going to call this English-full subs. I'll select the add language button. Once again, I'm going to have my language profile that I want, in this case, English. This time, I'm going to select normal or hearing impaired. Scroll down and I'm going to hit save and then save again. Now you'll see we've got two different profiles set up, one for forced subtitles and one for just regular normal English subtitles. All right, over on the left-hand side, let's go over to providers. We're going to click the big plus button. Now we can select some providers from the list here. The best one that I've found so far has been opensubtitles.com. However, they require an account, which it's free, so it's no big deal. You just got to go open up the account and create one. Let's find it down here. And there's two different options. There's the org.org version, which only works if you have the VIP status. We're more concerned with the opensubtitles.com version since it's the free account. So we'll select that. It's going to want our username and password. We don't have one. If you don't have one, just go ahead and open up a new tab, go to that site, and you'll register an account here. Put in a username, put in some password, agree with the terms, and then hit register. We'll go back to our Bazarr settings. We'll put in our username that we just created and our password. Then hit enable. Since we're here, let's add a few more providers. Go ahead and hit the plus again. I've got a few that I've already selected that seem to work fine. If there's something else in the list that you think would work better for you, feel free to use it. But I'm going to go find embedded subtitles, which is right there. Then I'll hit enable, hit the plus again. You can also type up here and filter things. So I'm going to go to sub DL, enable that one. Add another one. I'm going to go to TV subtitles right there, enable. Search for another one. We're going to do Yify, Y-I-F-Y, enable, and the last one is wisdom, and enable. Like I said, if you have something else, if you want to do anime subtitles or something of that nature, then just look through the list. If there's something you want, go ahead and add it. Now that you've got your providers selected, go ahead and hit save in the top left. Next, we're going to jump down to subtitles. All right, first option here is subtitle folder. This is the options of where you want to put the subtitles. We can do alongside the media files, which is the default, and that's what I'm going to use. But you can also do a relative path to the media file or an absolute path. Like I said, we'll leave it on the defaults alongside media file. The next several options are define and defaults. We're going to scroll down, show only desired languages. This is something that we want. We only want the languages that we selected, so we want that enabled. And then under upgrading subtitles, this allows you to schedule how often you want to search for new subtitles in case there's new ones released that have a little more accurate translation or slight timing corrections or something of that nature. How often do you want to go look for these subtitles? And for me, since subtitles typically don't change much, I think, a week is default, but I think giving it a bit more, like 30 days to have it recheck, is more than adequate. Next option down is upgrade manually downloaded or translated subtitles. If I manually put something in there, I don't want it overriding it, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. Now under performance and optimization, so here under adaptive searching, when it's enabled, Bazarr will skip searched providers for subtitles which have been searched recently. So it's just a way to kind of limit the amount of times that you're hitting the same site over and over and over. Frankly, I don't think it really matters either way, but the default has turned on. I think it's fine. It's not really going to matter. That being said, let's scroll down some more. We're going to look for Sub-0 subtitle content. Under this section, we're going to leave hearing impaired option turned off. We're going to turn on remove tags, OCR fixes, comment fixes, and fix uppercase. Basically, it's just going to go through and kind of optimize and change the subtitles to fit these options. All right, let's scroll down a little bit more to audio synchronization and alignment. We're going to go ahead and leave the defaults here, except for the last option here, automatic subtitle audio synchronization. We want to go ahead and turn that on. Scroll down some more. The do not sync option, we're going to leave blank. The debug, we're going to leave turned off. And then series score threshold for audio sync, and then the movie score threshold for audio sync. We're going to turn both of those on. The default for the series score is set at 90. That's a good number. The default for movie score threshold is set at 70. I think that's a little low. I'm going to go ahead and bump that up. Something like, I don't know, 86 looks good. If you're not sure what these are, it's basically a scoring system to know how good of a match the subtitles are to the audio file or the movie or the TV show. So the higher the number, the more accurate it's going to be. So if you're having a rough time finding anything, you can drop this number lower. Forewarned, you're probably not going to have a great match. I'd rather have it search multiple times until it finds the correct one. That should be pretty much everything there. So once we're done there, scroll back up and hit save. Next down, we're going to go to Sonar. We're going to enable that first. Below under host, we have the address, which we can put in the host name or the IP address for the server. So if you want to do the server one, you would put in your server's IP address where Sonar is located. In this case, that's mine. Or since we're using the custom network where it's talking amongst themselves within that network, so you can just use the name of your container. In my case, it is binhex dash, if I can spell binhex, right? In my case, it is binhex. In my case, it is binhex dash Sonar. Then the port number that is associated with Sonar, and the default port for that is 8989. That's what's here. So that's good. If yours is something different, make sure that the port numbers match up. Next, we're going to jump down to the API key. We're going to jump over to Sonar to grab that. So let's open up our server. We'll find Sonar listed here. I'm going to go ahead and go into it. Log in. We're going to go over to settings. Scroll all the way down and go to general. You can look through the list for API key. Mine's at the very bottom of the screen. Copy it. Let's go back to Bazarr. We'll paste the API key in here. We'll hit test, and it should come back with a version number, which is the version number from Sonar. It did, so we're good to go. All right, scroll down. Under options, we've got the minimum score for episodes. It's currently set at 90. The higher number is going to be the greater accuracy, but the lower is going to be the greater availability. So I'm going to leave it at 90. If you're having issues finding subtitles or they're out of sync or something, then you can adjust that score up or down. Down below, under download only monitored, we're going to leave that turned off. Then down under exclude season 0 extras, I'm going to go ahead and turn that on as well. Scroll back to the top and click save. All right, after that's saved, let's scroll back to the bottom. We got to set up our path. So we're going to hit add here. Now we need to search for our Sonar path, the path to our actual TV shows. So to do that, go ahead and click into there. We're going to select where it's at. And since this is based on the Trash Guides folder structure, let's go ahead and select data. Go back into there, select media, go back into it again, and look for our TV shows. And right there. So you should have /data/media/TV. Then over on the other side, the right-hand side, under Bazarr, we're going to select the folder where Bazarr was mapped to. When we were first setting it up, the TV folder was just /TV, and that was its location. So let's find that. That's right there. So now we've got our Sonar location for the data, and then our Bazarr location for the same data. Once you have those in there, scroll back to the top and click save. That takes care of Sonar. Let's jump over to Radar on the left-hand side. It's the exact same process. Let's go ahead and enable it. Under the host, I'm going to use the host name again. In this case, it was binhex-radar. If you want to put your server IP address in there, you're welcome to do that. If you use a different container other than the binhex one, you'd put in the container's name here. Either way works. I'm just doing it this way this time. Port number is 7878. That is the default port number for Radar. That's what mine's set at, so I'm going to leave that alone. If you had changed your Radar port number, then you'd just make sure that matches here. Next, we're going to need the API key for Radar. So let's go to our Radar server, find Radar in the list. We'll open it up. To get to the API key, you're going to go under Settings, scroll down, find General. Last option on my screen here is the API key. We're going to copy that, Next, I'll go back to Bazarr and find the API key there, paste it in. Once you have it in there, hit test. Should come back with a version number for Radar, and that's what it did, so that's good to go. Scroll back to the top, we'll hit save. Now we'll scroll to the bottom, and we have to add in a path mapping here as well. We're going to go ahead and hit add, and for Radar, it wants the location of the movies, so we're going to click into there. That should be under Data, Media, and then Movies, right there. And Bazarr, the path that we had mapped within Bazarr is just /movies, which is right there. Once you have those set, scroll back to the top and hit save. That should be all we need here. So let's jump over to notifications on the left-hand side. Personally, I don't care about notifications, so I'm gonna leave this off, but if you wanted to be notified that it found a new subtitle or whatever, you can go ahead and click on the plus and then select your notification service that you'd like. And there's a lot of them. Like I said, not interested in it, so I'm just gonna get out of there, not use it. Scheduler is our next option. We're gonna click onto there. Now for the SODAR Radar sync, right now it's set at an hour. So basically every hour it's gonna go through and try to sync it up. I think that's good. Sonar's good at an hour, Radar's good with an hour. All those options there are good. I'm gonna scroll down and find search and upgrade subtitles. So here's where you can set up the schedule and how often you want to search for them. I think every 6 hours is fine. The defaults are good. I'm gonna move on previously downloaded subtitles. 12 hours is good. Then under backup, this is your schedule for how often you want the database to be backed up. In this case, weekly on a Sunday at 3 a.m., which is good. Scroll back to the top. If you have any changes, go ahead and hit save. Next, let's jump over to UI. Under list view, the page size, this is how many items are on one page. 25 is a bit small, I think, depends on your media collection size. On my demo server here, I only have a few items that I actually have in here that I'm just kind of playing with the data with. So 25 is fine. But if you've got a large collection and you've got, let's say 700 movies or something, 25 items at a time, it's going to take you a while to scroll through them. So you can go here and up this to, something a little more reasonable, 250. So you got, 3 pages, 500, 1,000, whatever you want it to be. Personally, I think something like 100 is a good number. But once again, whatever you want, whatever suits your needs here. Then down under style, under theme, I'm going to select dark because I always want dark. Everything's always got to be dark. But my system defaults to dark. So I'm going to put on auto and they'll just use the system defaults there. Once you've got your item selected there, go ahead and hit save. So that's pretty much all the settings side of it. However, we still have to make some adjustments. So let's go up to our series. Now, the first time I installed this on my own production machine here, this option here, the language profile, was blank because there's an option in there to set it up without using those. I can't remember the exact wording on it, but it's basically, it applies the language profile to any new files coming in. And since the files were already existing, there was no profile added to them. If yours has no profile listed here, let me show you how to correct that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up to Mass Edit up here in the top left, select that. You're going to select the top option here, the name, and that'll select everything down below, just like that. Then right above there where it's this change profile, we'll have to drop down, and you're going to select the profile that you'd like. In this case, I'm going to do English Forced, which it's already there, but this is how you do it. Then you hit save. At that point, it'll go through and apply that profile to all the items that you have listed there. We're going to do the same thing for movies. We'll go over and click on movies, go to Mass Edit. We'll select the top option, name, and that selects everything. Change profile. We're going to change this to English Forced, and you hit save. So at this point, Bazarr is all set up and fully working, and it's going to run and search for subtitles on its own schedule that we had set up earlier. If you're going to do a manual search, let me show you how to do that. Let's go to a TV show. So I'll go to series. We'll find something, let's say, Beverly Hillbillies. Not that I think it's going to have any, but we'll start there. Got our show selected. I'm going to find an episode that we want. Let's say this one here. Over on the right, you'll find the little person icon. That's going to be a manual search. So we click onto that, and it'll go out and look for it. You'd find the one that you want in the list here. Once it finds any, like I said, I don't think it's going to, and you'd select it. It would then download that one and apply it to that episode. Movies are the same. Let's go over to there, click on movies, find a movie, open it up. But you'll notice the little person isn't here, the little icon for it, because it's in the top. It's up here. So you click on manual. Once again, it'll search. Nothing's found. Yep, nothing's found, so nothing there. One last thing, if we go back to our movies here, it shows you the missing subtitles here. It shows you what it's looking for. For TV series, same thing. It's showing you 0 of 33 found, 0 of 77. So as it finds them, this bar will turn purple and kind of fill up. That's pretty much it. It's pretty simple, straightforward program. So that being said, if you found this video helpful, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Then check out one of these next. and I'll see you in the next one.